One. Hello. Yep, we're live. Exhale. Zombie Grub. Hello.
Hi.
It's nice to see that you're not actually dead. That's good.
Thanks. It is pretty good. Can you see that?
Can I see what? Oh, I can kind of see the cat a little bit. Wait, did you dye Apollo black? What's going on here? Is this your Halloween costume for him?
This is really weird. Ziggy's never done this before.
He's like, I see Apollo do this all the time. She loves Apollo, actually, so what if I do this?
Exactly what he does. Like anytime, like when Pyro came in, he started kind of doing things that Pyro would do, but a lot more like shy about it and not as cute.
Cats
and
are
now
adorable.
he's using Apollo, so he's not as cute and he's not as aggressive with it, but he's trying.
I feel
It's
like
okay.
either A, because like my first impressions on this are A, you spray painted Apollo because you're like, look, it's Salem the cat from Sabrina, it's your Halloween costume. Or B, you had another cat trying to win your favorite. He's like, she's been gone for a while now. Now's the chance to win her over before the other cat claims her again.
Yeah, Ziggy's missed me, but Apollo slept with me all day.
It's actually, it shouldn't be, but it's really weird seeing that tail. Like, because Apollo doesn't have the tail, right? So it's just like,
yeah.
this thing. I'm like, what is this snake that's following your cat?
It like blocks my view. Oh, Ziggy, you're so dumb.
Well, folks, we're going to be hopping into the CSL cast right away. First map's going to be Ruins of Saras. It's best of 3 starting right now. It's going to be Georgia Tech versus the University of South Alabama. And we do know some of the names of the players playing tonight, but definitely not all of them. And you know, I was supposed to play an intro I forgot about. So I'm gonna play the intro to the stream as an intro to the map. Boom. See you guys in a sec. Sick game intro. Hype! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CSL. Archon mode is the name of the game, and spawning here in the upper left corner of the map, it's going to be a combination of the players' remix and theory.
I am not on the right person. Oh, because it's a replay. In the bottom left has the blue Zerg. It's Coca and Rigo as far as I can see.
Yeah, and of course, the universities. I had open 1 second. There we go. We got Theory and Remix up here representing Georgia Tech. And South Alabama being represented by Kokomite and Regor. So Kokomite, the full name, I guess.
I was way off, man.
I'm a little bit excited, though, because the best of 3 that follows this first one is actually going to be Silky and Suppy. Representing Berkeley versus Yup Wildcard and Tuna for Team Banana Cracker at the University of Washington.
These are too many teams. I can't keep track.
I know, it's all good. I guess the cool thing about a replay is you get to see the pings of the players. So maybe saying, hey, look over here, look.
Yeah, that's where they're gonna take their third. All right then, way to go. You do
now,
you.
Cat is out of the bag on this one, guys. We are casting from replays from this first best of 3 tonight. The downside is that they're not live, but the upside is if there's a lot of boring downtime, we can fast forward through it, which is nice.
Yes, it is. Third base seems to be the way to go in Legacy of the Void ZVZ. Just a lot of minerals initially, and cheese is, I mean, kind of unheard of now. Like,
it's a lot less common, that's for sure.
With so many drones early on, and you know, people are actually good at drone stacking and micro now. It just seems like it's almost never worth it. Almost. I suppose if they really are being as greedy as like 3x before pool, then totally worth it. But these thirds that I'm seeing from Zergs, like what blue Zerg is doing, is I think a lot more effective They're gonna get a huge production boost.
Right, larva injects getting nerfed made the necessity of these thirds a lot more important. We were seeing players like True dying games with like 500 minerals, screaming, "Why does he have so much money?" Until we realized, oh, he couldn't spend it. So even in ZV, like it's especially important in the other matchups, but even in ZVZ, we're seeing faster thirds become more and more common, just because you need that larva production.
And that might be the first time I've seen the larva shift queued.
Oh, I actually missed that, but that's cool. Oh, there we go. So on that one. All right.
Yeah. I don't know, like, no one's borrowed to use it, I suppose. Like, we've had something about, like, you know, old Heart of the Swarm pro gamers, and I guess they were just too in the mindset, the instinct to use it, or they just didn't know it existed, either one.
So, interesting point about this too. Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Theory normally play Protoss, or am I thinking of a different player?
Oh, that's I didn't really realize I knew that name until you just pointed that out.
Right? Old was it like FXO or something? Like him and Sir Robin in the crew. Like,
oh damn.
Bailey finishes just in the nick of time. I'm pretty sure he plays well. We'll look it up between games, but interesting point that they are both Zerg. Now, these Banelings aren't going off on much of anything useful, but the Queen was getting some good shots. Good control out of Team Red so far. Blue's not really slipping by, getting much done. One Queen might barely go down. Sadly, transfuses are about 6 seconds off, but really, a Queen is about all the damage afforded for all those lings.
Yeah, and it was a lot of lings. It also delayed their lair. They haven't put guys back on gas, and they still don't have their own Baneling nest, so a counterattack could be trouble to deal with, but it doesn't really look like Red Zerg is going to be powering up for that. I really feel like Blue Zerg could have done that better. I don't know. Like, they could have really bulked up a lot more lings. They could have actually circumvented the Overlord coverage, by the way, too. Like, it's a pretty big map, and the Overlords aren't really, like, covering every single aisle, but instead they ran into those Banelings, and then the reinforcements, as fast as Zerglings are, still didn't reach fast enough, and they didn't really do a lot of damage. But they are still on those 3 bases, so their economy should be better as the game goes on, even though the workers are similar. Still no tech, though. They just put guys back in those gases.
Continuous scouting from these lings is not too bad. The second spine call definitely feels unnecessary. I don't know if they've just been baited into the all-in or not, but if Theory and Remix had realized there's no Baneling nest, none of this would be necessary. So yeah, when the Spire comes out, this will be really interesting to see how they deal with it. Roaches are on the way. I don't believe they actually scouted the Spire. No, so they've seen the lair. They know the tech. They see all 4 gases. Team Blue should be expecting, I would imagine, a lair.
Suppose they're gonna go check for a Nidus Worm. They're a little confused as to why their opponent is still on only 2 bases, but I think if you check for the Nidus Worm, then the follow-up instinct should be like, oh, what about a Spire? Because Spire has also been something that's been quite... Oh, a Queen dies over here. It's been quite... Oh, 2 Queens die. Are you gonna
almost? There you go. Yeah, you don't want to finish that? I'll eat that. Thank you.
Alright. But, like, Spire builds can be very powerful in DBZ. Especially if they have the time to transition to lurkers. Could be really cool, could be really, really annoying. We certainly deal with that in our own games. But we'll see how Blue Zerg deals with it.
Well, I think one of the #1 things that has allowed the Spire to really come back was that Spore Crawler nerf. I'm still not a fan of how weak it is now, but it's still it's manageable.
Did they get 2 Evo chambers? Yeah, they did. You and me. I don't know how useful that's going to be. Plus, you know, 2 upgrades on melee just doesn't. I mean, they could go with it and they go to like fast ultras. That would be a cool build, but one that isn't. I don't know, may not be viable. I actually don't know. Yeah,
the melee has me with question marks, but I do like the Carapace because it would have let them transition to either roaches or lings. Regardless, even though there might be mutas in play, there's not a lot getting it done if he loses get past everything. Baneling misses pretty badly.
Oh, that mana detonation hurt.
Okay. Yeah, they've had 2 of those so far. There was a Baneling that went off earlier that hit nothing as well, and it was not even near lings, so I questioned the control of whomever is doing the micro.
Ooh. Blues, or well, you know, that almost seems like someone who is controlling the micro and the macro player panics and is like, oh, never mind.
All right, you position him. I'll have my finger over the X button. Let's do this.
Yeah,
the ultimate Archon.
So Blue Zerg actually went to their own lurker den like a lot quicker than I expected. They were able to get a lot of drones. A lot more drones were on the way, so they're actually catching up. It seems like they fell behind at some point, but with a lot of Spore Crawlers down, and the Queens and Hydras both helping out, and the fact that there aren't a ton of Petas out, it seems like that initial burst, that initial snowball that can happen with mutas, well, it didn't happen in this game. And it looks like Hoka, I'm going to call them Coco and Rigo, because actually those look like really cool names. They're on the overlay, so.
Actually, Rigo does sound cool. It's like Rico.
Yeah.
Rico's Roughnecks.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, it seems like they'll be able to stabilize pretty nicely. They're even getting Patrick Lands for the Infestors. Like, they are getting all the tools to counter mutas. And, well, Red Zerg, if they just go mass muta, I really don't think they did enough damage early on to make it work.
No, I don't think so either. Actually, I really was hoping this was going to go the direction we've seen players like Bly do, where you use, 8 to 10 and, go harass mode while you transition into either roaches or anything else after that. Or, again, the potential faster Ultralisks, as Hive Tech is just so god mode right now. But at the end of the day, if Lurkers are going to be in play, Team Red's not going to be able to keep up with the ground, and at the rate this is going, their air is going to get shut down.
Yeah. Very, very gas-starved. They, of course, get their third a little bit later, but they got their gas a lot sooner, so actually, I don't want to explain that. Just a lot of Banelings being made and wasted. Of course, mutas being expensive, but I don't. Despite the supplies being even, and the fact the bank, at least the mineral bank of Red Zerg being quite high, I really feel a lot better for the guys with the roaches, the lurkers, the infestors. You think their upgrades now? I
mean, Theory and Remix come into this as the pro gamers that I've seen compete in WCS qualifiers, among other things. I mean, it's strange to see them behind like this, I guess is the best way to describe it. Fungal Growth almost catches those mutas. Still gets a good flock of them. About 5 get caught in that fungal. Only one or two's gonna go down there.
Hydra upgrades aren't quite finished. Maybe could have gotten 1 or 2 more on their retreat had their range been done. Now it is done. Be extra careful. Lings running around probably should be getting into the cracks of like the third base or the natural. Honestly, anywhere the mutas are, the Ling should be somewhere else, and that's what really makes those mass muta, just constant Lings, especially the upgraded Ling style, very annoying to deal with. You partition off the wrong number of units, and suddenly the Lings overwhelm your Hydras, or the mutas overwhelm your Roaches. It's very annoying. Lurkers can help out with that. Even one Lurker at third or natural can help out drastically against Ling floods, which I guess is this guy's job. It's like the only Lurker made in this game.
I go over here. I good.
There's another one actually protecting the 4th base.
It is worth noting that Blue Zerg did manage to tear down the 4th of Red, and that's why they have to rebuild it right now. Kind of sucks for them, but again, so much of this game is hinged on can they get that fungal, can they get the money shot on those mutas, because if they never can, then frankly, it doesn't matter how many Hydras and Infestors are in play, but if they can get rid of a clump of those mutas in one foul engagement, then Team Blue takes a huge lead. But it is curious to see Banelings coming in, especially Baneling Speed. I'm guessing this is strictly for the Hydralisks.
Probably. Bit of an older way to play, I suppose, like that Roach Baneling attack, but of course can be accompanied with mutas, just if you have enough gas, which was questionable, but they're trying to get everything they need. But it may be gone for a hive too with that gas and gone for those ultras like we were talking about. Blue Zerg is already on their way to hive, and that's going to be nice for maybe a greater spire, actually, as they're getting their own spire. But I was thinking more to those Vipers, the Parasitic Bomb.
Ooh, yes. I would actually really like to see Parasitic Bomb going as a counter to the mutas. It's kind of cool to see those 2 Banelings, by the way. I guess +2 Banelings. I had no idea about this, but +2 Banelings against no Carapace drones will one-shot them. It's kind of neat.
The more you know.
Yeah, they were left with 1 health after that Baneling detonated, so now that +2's finished, we could possibly see some more cool stuff like that, but Vipers are coming out. As you said, Parasitic Bomb, for those who don't know, haven't been following a lot of Legacy of the Void, it's a new ability the Vipers have. It does area of effect damage around the Mutalisks. If you played Rude War, think Irradiate. It's kind of the same concept, but a lot more scary. And this, by the way, is a big part of why mutas got shut down for a while. There was a particular, I think it was like a Lycan League or something near the start of Heart of the Swarm, or sorry, Legacy of the Void, where this really wrecked a clump of mutas at a Tefl, and it was embarrassing. A GIF was made, it had all the upvotes on Reddit, and we very only see something like that replicated here.
Yeah. Vipers do have, of course, accrue energy before they're effective, though, so these mutas were able to leave. They did scout the Viper, though, so at least maybe mentally they can prepare to split to the best of their ability, but they're splitting against, potentially, the Vipers, the Infestors, and the Hydras and the Queens. I mean, eventually push comes to shove when you're the Roach Hydra person, and usually you win that war.
Total aside for a moment, you missed the great game with Lillikinian and Theo today. Mass Tempest versus Mass Battlecruiser Raven. He used the Warframe to get on top of the Tempest and kill him, but he lost the game. But it was really cool.
Battlecruiser Warframe.
Yeah, it was so cool, dude. It was so cool.
Yeah. That is a lot more hydras, like 20 hydras popping out right there. Not quite maxed out yet, but still a strong enough army, I think, to push forward.
Yeah, are they gonna go into their own mutas or more likely corruptors after this? I'm wondering. They're going for air carapace as well here.
Gotta imagine it's gonna turn into like that air war. You know, they're both gonna go corruptor broodlord, as Red Zerg's finally on their way to hive, so they can start their greater spire soon.
Oh, these spines. Is this on purpose, or is he gonna cancel them for supply?
I guess on purpose. If he was planning on going to the Greater Spire for Broodlords, he wouldn't buy time. Or buy time for Ultras.
Well, this Lurker and a couple of Spine Crawlers is going to quickly deal with these Lings. Again, Zymerga mentioned one Lurker earlier, guys. Already up to 14 kills and slices and dices most of these bad boys. Hydra's helped clean this up as well. Looks like the 4th base will stand.
Funnily enough, when the Ling's gonna surround on something, the Lurker cat attack only hits like 2 of them.
Yeah.
So they actually were really effective, but does save the 3rd base, and he is pushing across the map. Only 2 Lurkers, but it really is about dealing. Or no, there's actually 4. 2 just.
Parasitic bombs, please, gonna go off. There we go on top of the mutas. We're gonna see these start dead. Oh, that's it.
Oh my god.
The fungal growth held them in place, and immediately the resources lost just builds up like crazy. Lurkers trying to protect the retreating units. Looks like they'll do just that until those Ultralists come out. Not really any chance to engage this. But oh my god, was that a good engagement for Team Blue? Can we? It's a replay. Would you mind if we went back and watched that again? Like.
Yes, because my FPS was total crap.
Oh, okay. Then I won't do it. But still, it was amazing.
I don't know like why it was so bad. All the effects.
It just couldn't handle the awesome now.
Apparently. But you know, despite all the mutas dying in a horrific clump, it was surprising. Like if the remax was there, if the huge bank that you usually accrue by mass expanding as you take over the map was there, it probably would have been like okay. But there actually wasn't that big of a bank. He had to wait on those ultras, which are now coming out, and they will have those upgrades, which is not in time here. One in fact pops out and just gets trapped by hydras.
Well, not just that, but let's not forget the Lurkers deal bonus damage versus armored, which is precisely what those ultras are. If it has that chitinous plating upgrade in +3, maybe it goes through this, but unfortunately that doesn't look to be the case. All of these very weak units getting chunked alive by the Lurkers, but the Ultralists doing what they can to clean this up. They will take out a fair amount of the Roaches, but this wasn't a very this was their army. This was everything for them.
Yeah, and they lost their 4th, 5th base at the same time. So just a couple of Lings. I mean, I think like they had actually surprisingly they had a good game plan. I think that mutas, especially mass mutas, can start off with a big hit and then just get very annoying and snowbally. And then if you have that macro behind it, quickly expanding, having the better drone count, constantly harassing, and getting to those ultra powerful adrenal gland Lings and ultra combo, I think that's actually probably the best combo you can get to, unless they have like 14 Lurkers, and then the Lurkers probably win. But still, like this could have been a really nicely set out game plan, but it took them a long time to actually get where they wanted to go, and it was just barely not in time.
I don't know, that Ultra, as dumb as it sounds, it's about to go from 3 to 8 armor.
Well, the supply already.
Yeah, I mean, the supply count looks so good for Blue, and I'm pretty confident Blue's going to take this game, but it's going to be funny watching just how much that one Ultralist can do.
Yeah. I also, I really wonder if we'll see more experimentation with the
oh my god,
the Lurker, not those Banelings that we saw.
Look at this, no armor Roaches died to 3/3 Adrenal Gland Lings so quickly. Holy crap.
Yeah. I really, the mass upgraded Lings are, were my favorite. They got even better, of course, here. But, if there was, 10 Lurkers, if, you stop at, 25, 30 mutas, you just got a good job of harassing, and then you go into your own Lurkers, and you have, a Lurker wall with that Spine Crawler wall. Does the Roach Hydra player ever break it? They can siege up themselves with their own Lurkers, but that's a siege, just on a break. And then the Ultras come out, the Adrenal Glands come out. I feel like this could be the way to go in the future of ZDZ, but of course, Legacy of the Void, everything is experiments. No one really knows the perfect response. So.
Here comes the attempt to break this. The Ultra's getting stuck on the Queen and the Vespene Geyser. Bit of an issue there. A couple Lurkers going to go down here. It kind of reminds me of the way people were busting Swarm Host back in the day of King Sejong Station, but these Ultralists just don't give a flip about the damage they're taking. However, it's not going to be enough, and that's going to be it. GG is called.
Man, this headset feels like 50 pounds, man.
Does it? Well, Starcraft just crashed on me. Oops.
Oh.
Weren't you wearing the same headset in... Oh, because you're sick. I'm sorry, that's right.
Yeah, because I'm sick. I still have my ears clogged, so I feel very hollow. I sound very hollow, rather.
You actually...
That sounds really depressing.
You're not quite like Smelly Cat sexy voice, but your voice is notably more nasally than usual. It sounds fine, though.
As long as I'm not, it's not Smelly Cat that you'd be worried about, right? It'd be Janice.
Oh God, no!
Oh my God. Okay.
That was the chick. Didn't she? Is the same person who played the nanny or something? Wasn't it too? Or
No, so they were actually two different people, but they look a lot alike. You know, like they're both Jewish and they both got that nasally voice and they both just have that like curly dark hair. But the nanny was, I think, definitely a bigger star than Janice ever was. Anyways.
All right, map is gonna be Terraform. We're gonna hop into this right here. And once again, this one is another replay coming at you. But keep in mind, the matches coming up afterwards with Suppy and Silky and all them are live. In fact, Suppy messaged me during that game. So sorry I'm late. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. You got time. All right, so I'm in the game screen. So, the, oh gosh, I've already forgot the universities here. One sec. The University of South Alabama are the ones that take the lead in the series. But interestingly enough, I brought up the question, doesn't Theory play Protoss? And I guess we have our answer for us. Because playing for Georgia Tech, here in the bottom right corner of the map, they're down one after that ZVZ. It's the Team Purple Archon Protoss Theory and Remix.
I really need to get access to the document, man. In the top left, as the Teal Zerg, it's who I see as, oh, they type good luck, have fun. Kokomites and Rhaegar.
AKA South Alabama.
I just feel like you're already so south in Alabama, like, even more south.
I feel like, coming from North Canada, you mean the Yukon? No, North Canada. It's
no, I
gonna
feel like coming from North Dakota.
What about South North Dakota?
Just who, like, no one even remembers the Dakotas anyways.
South North Dakota is north of North South Dakota.
Oh my God, just stop confusing me, bro. You know, like, those you ever remembered the Dakotas and the Carolinas was because if you did, you got twice the points on your US map test.
Yay!
Nailed it. I remember one term with two different states. And I guess West Virginia and regular Virginia also kind of counts. Why aren't we East Virginia? Because West Virginia is really stupid, and honestly, they're kind of laughable. So.
Because reasons, Zombie Grub. Because reasons.
Well, North and South Carolina, I feel like really, in the grand scheme of things, you know, maybe one's more south, so they have worse things, but...
Fully ignorant question coming from a Canadian here. I always thought, and again, I'm so sorry if this is offensive to anybody, all I know about the Civil War is like the whole North and South and slavery aspect of it. And I always thought that the southern parts of those states were just ones that didn't want to drop the slavery, so they got split in half. Is that not how that worked? I always thought, like, because, you know, like South Carolina was like, okay, well, we're okay with slaves, but North Carolina's not.
And the Mason-Dixon line were actually, like, the dividers in the Civil War. So I think we actually had less or more of Maryland. I don't even remember. I live in Virginia, so if you guys know that. So I said we. Anyways.
The royal we.
North and South Carolina were already made, actually, pretty sure, before the Civil War, and they're below Virginia. So they were very south. And the Dakotas? Who even knows about the Dakotas? I don't think the Dakotas existed in the Civil War. Like, they're out west. Like, no, they probably existed. Actually, I don't know.
The only Dakota I know was that really annoying one from War of the Worlds. Mrs. Fanning?
Ha, that's a good one. But seriously, I really don't know anything about the states. Like, I failed that test.
How many are there?
50.
No, trick. There's actually 49 since they found out Pluto's not a planet.
I thought they were gonna trick me with the whole, like, there's 52 because technically you can count, like, our territories.
Yeah, what about Alaska and Hawaii, mate? Are you including those?
Yes. Oh, Rifkin, you do a really good job of sounding like an Indian American.
It all comes with practice, my dear.
You're just basically Canadian when you're an Indian American.
Wow.
I don't know anything about Canadian provinces either. I know you have provinces, so that's impressive.
Provinces or Providence?
Oh, no. Providences? No.
Do you not know the answer to this, for real?
No, because Providence is a, actually, I don't know what you would call it.
Zombie Grub, for shame. For someone who's just toting about getting double points on, like, geography.
No, for someone who just said, I don't know anything about Canada either.
Well, as we can see, guys, very important.
Wait, which one is it?
I feel like I want to give you the wrong. I want to fear dragon you on this. I want to give you the wrong answer. So next
You know
time you
what?
talk to somebody else about this, it's
Uh,
provinces.
Providence.
But I wanted to give you like the wrong answer so that you would take this information and talk to somebody, right? And like maybe it's some cute guy you meet at an event, and you're like, oh, I want to sound smart. Hey, I know all the providences. Just have it totally come like, but
Providence actually means the beginning of something's existence, something's origin.
Yep.
Also, it's really hard to distinguish between those two words when you're sick.
Fair enough.
Like, they're already kind of hard, but...
The question from earlier with you and I, where did the D come from? Gradam? I don't know. Third base is getting established by Theory and Remix here. So once again, I don't know who's choosing the races and who's doing micro and macro. If I had to imagine, I'm assuming it's Theory doing the macro, saying, look, Remix, I'm trusting you just to use the units I give you. And the thing is about Protoss units, they're actually kind of fickle and hard. If you watch a player, let's say Patience or Korean Protoss, Myung-sik is actually a better example, use Phoenix, you're like, dang, he makes these look easy, he makes these look overpowered. But then when you get your hands on them as an inexperienced player, you're like, oh, why do they keep dying? Wait, I thought these were good units. So it is questionable about who's doing what.
We have a Dark Shrine on the way, along with this third base. Not a lot of action going on, it's both just macroing up. The question, of course, is if the Zerg will even see the Dark Shrine coming. They already have detection set up because of the Phoenixes, which always made like the Phoenix into, or even Oracle into DT thing a little questionable. But if they're being really greedy Zergs, and that's what Zergs like to do, and they assume they don't need any attack units, you can actually still kill a third base because Queens just don't have enough DPS, and DTs are insane with DPS. Open 4, they immediately go to the third base, that third base is probably gonna die.
Yeah, the focus fire just effect is ridiculous.
Yeah. You know what I made my my students do yesterday in class?
Oh yeah, you teach StarCraft. Right, go on.
I made them play Brood War. Because
Oh.
we're actually, I'm introducing them to the whole like Brood War versus StarCraft 2 design debate, and man, they latched onto that real quick. Let me tell you.
What did they? Were they like, wow, Brood War is way better. I like this a lot.
No, so you had like one guy who was like the best in the class to begin with, like he got gold like 3 years ago, basically being like the elitist quote unquote, saying like Brood War is better because you actually have like this much higher skill ceiling and like all of the things you hear in the StarCraft 2 community, and then like a lot of other people who are like newer were like, no, like you needed to make it easier, and you need to actually, it's not playing the game, it's playing your opponent. And anyways, oh, 1 DT is warped in. That's it. Okay, 2 DTs.
Yeah, give him some time. Calm down. Baits. It's
and then
bait.
they just run away from 1 queen. Oh well.
It's bait. He's trying to bait the queen away so he can pick it up with the Phoenix. Obviously.
My bad. Well, there aren't a lot of attack units, but still enough, I suppose, he doesn't want to dive in on it. With the Phoenixes, probably could.
They
get
really
the-
could. I really feel like look at this, out of range right now. They could even pick that up.
But you would assume that there was a bunch of units on the way to defend it, and there probably should be, but they're all rallied to the middle for whatever reason.
I do think this warp prism needs to be dealt with, though. Regardless.
This is very awkward. Like, I think it's so awkward because
Neither player
there was
knows what to do.
There was like serious underestimating from like both parties, or I don't know how else to explain it. They had one guy warping only 2 DTs, not do anything to him. And you had the Zerg player only do nothing basically to respond. So the DTs could have done a lot. And the Zerg could have go ahead like.
Oh no
killed
no! That was a mistake. Don't pick up in the warp
Kill it
prism.
now. There we go. That's what I thought was gonna happen, like from the get-go.
Yeah, that got pretty bad for Team Protoss there for a second.
Really
Again,
bad.
this comes down to, do you know how to properly use these units or not? And a big part of that was the Phoenix for me. There's so many opportunities you saw that he could have dived in, picked up that queen, and sent those DTs in. But regardless, it does put Team Zerg on their feet. They're gonna have to worry about what's coming up next. You and I know from experience, a lot of the high-end Robo, but more importantly, high-end Stargate tech is actually really good in the current version of Legacy of the Void. I'm not gonna go as far as to say overpowered, but that's how it feels.
Yes, but instead we have, initially at least, kind of a Heart of the Swarm build. I don't know, they popped out a couple of Immortals, they got a Disruptor, now they're going double Robo Colossus with Blink, but into another Stargate, so maybe Kickers eventually. Big mishmash of choices here. Not necessarily. I'm not sure I like it, but it doesn't matter because the Zerg player is not attacking. You know, if the Zerg player didn't have that awkward scuffle in the main base, you know, let's say they're actually like 180 supply. For us, is a big trouble, but
if there weren't a combination of Colossus mixed with Disruptors, I would feel really bad. But like, the fact is, the Disruptors will deal with the Lurkers, and the Colossus will keep the Hydras at bay. So, what's dangerous, I feel, in this situation isn't the Zerg taking a lot of bases; it's them letting the Protoss do whatever they'd like on 4 bases.
Oh, by the way, I forgot that it wasn't my class that decided this. It was you when we played Brood War with Olivia and Fear Dragon. That DTs in Brood War are stupid. Really? I had that whole thing like lined up to something, and I forgot which one it was.
We never saw DTs when we played, though.
No, it was definitely you, because my students have forgot the DTs.
But we never saw DTs, man. Like when we played, we cheesed, remember?
Yeah, no. I made DTs when I was with Olivia. And you were yelling at Fear Dragon.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry, I was thinking of the other games. Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. Oh god, Fear Dragon is like, I'm gonna kill him afterwards.
Fear Dragon, whatever, man. That guy let me down. All right?
He explained what happened, and you were definitely in the wrong. I'm just throwing it out there.
For which?
For the macro, you kept on queuing up a bunch of Marines, and you wouldn't let them build stuff.
We needed units, okay? Look, it was important to have units to play with.
Oh my god. Well, it looks like we finally might have some action in this game. Just a couple of scuffles really prior to this.
I want to pull up that replay.
Down the rocks.
I want to pull up that replay. Look over that.
But you know what? Replay. You know what that proved though is that Brood War could be insanely stupid fun, and we should actually play it just like we played Warcraft. We should play Warcraft more. Oh.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun when we were playing Warcraft. I would definitely be down for that again.
But also more Brood War.
Nope, Warcraft.
No, Brood War.
Nope, Warcraft.
No. Ah.
Actually, Overwatch. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. If we get into the beta. October 28th, we wake up.
I'm hoping we do. If not, there's gonna be those open beta weekends at least. But right now, Theory and Remix, they blink the wrong Stalker away. What are you doing? Blink the one that's taking the damage. What's going on here? Abducts go off on the Colossus, and of course they're gonna be stuck over here. So risk pepperonis.
Add a Colossus animation. So I always like when Colossus got abducted, they just kind of wiggled, right? But now they kind of like snap their head back and are like,
and their legs flail,
thrown around, and their legs flail. Yeah, but I think they added like the neck, that realism though, you know,
the immersion. Actually, there's a lot of cool stuff they've added. Little subtle things like that. The voiceover changes.
Yeah, the voiceovers. I heard that the first time yesterday, and I was just like,
it's cool too because it's not even like they just added a new line. Like they sound like they're charging into battle, right? Like for the glory of battle. Yeah.
I feel like, you know, okay, well that wasn't a cancel. Blizzard didn't actually... It would be cool if Blizzard did this on purpose because they knew the third installment would be them being heroes again, covering their planet, but I really feel like it wasn't. I think there's nobody faith in Blizzard.
I don't know, I kind of think it was. And maybe they thought about doing this in the last expansion, but they're like, oh, it's Zerg, they don't speak. Like, you can't really do that.
I don't know. Pretty big attack, but the disruptor shots are absolutely terrible.
Yeah, big whiff, big whiff. The Colossus get abducted into this, and the Protoss army is just getting devastated. They're taking some good shots and taking out some of the Hydras, but the Lurkers go uncontested. There's no detection here, so team... oh, sorry, there are 2 services who are targeting the Lurker. That's a mistake, letting that chunk on that army like that then. That's even worse. Down to 50 army supply.
And still going for what I really feel is an inferior composition. I mean... The Zerg player isn't accruing such a huge bank. 2-3 bases did just die to DTs, and it is Legacy of the Void, but that was a pretty bad fight for the Protoss, and it's only the expanding behind it that's going to save them here. But back at the Colossus and Stalkers, I don't know.
Funny enough, the Void Rays might be the heroes. They're already going to be good against the Hydras in the first place, but the Colossus will make that even easier to deal with. If there's no anti-air, then the amount of roaches and lurkers are irrelevant.
Void Ray barely doesn't die thanks to that Phoenix control. Oh, mate, never mind. Just kidding.
Spoke too soon, Zombie. Spoke way too soon. Roaches are going to push this back, and I thought the Void Rays would be the cavalry to kind of get the job done, but only until reinforcement wave number 2 comes out of Team Zerg, and Zerg Archon pushing in takes out yet another one of the Archons. Lurker's just going to burrow right in front of everything. But it's a cannon, so detection is here.
Still not trading out too well for the Zerg player, you know, rallying a lot of small units into a lot of splash and, of course, a couple of DTs as well.
Yeah, number detection. I guess he just threw the overseers in a little bit too early.
Yeah, so ends up not trading out so well on the chase, basically. He does have to retreat now, but it's not that I think the Protoss had, like, a necessarily bad composition. Like, Colossus are in that tricky place where they got something back, so maybe they're, you know, back to being sort of good. But the Disruptor shots were absolutely terrible, and then they just kind of gave up on Disruptors, where either get the Disruptor shots to be good and actually like a key point of the composition, or go into carriers, man. Like, save that army, don't take the fight, just go into carriers with your hella good economy behind it, and Zerg's almost always in trouble if you can get a lot of carriers.
Yo, I know you didn't cast CSL week 1 or day 1 with me, but one of the interesting things I found over there was we had Moose Kills, who I thought was probably going to be the best player and could 1v2 the other team I had never heard of. Flop all over the place. SWS and Zergo, same kind of thing. And here we are with Fury and Remix, and it's all these pro players that I expect to do well that really aren't playing well. And my thoughts are, okay, maybe they haven't played Legacy of the Void, but what else are they playing? There's no hot tournaments left. There's no another season of WCS for them to train for. So the big question is, why aren't they well equipped with this?
Well, they're studying because they're college students. Duh.
Wait, you have college just can't afford university?
Oh my god, Canadian jokes are so stupid.
No, but okay, in seriousness, I really would have expected some of these guys to be on the ball with this stuff, but I'm not like upset or disappointed. I'm just more surprised. It just, you would think the macro mechanics and whatnot would carry through over to the expansion, but kind of just awkward here.
For Protoss, it can almost always be explained because they were the ones, you know, last expansion, Heart of the Swarm, Zergs had to kind of change things up versus Terran. Protoss literally changed like almost everything. You know, they had to deal with like basically, you know, no longer depending on a lot of Colossus. In most of their matchups, they actually were depending a lot on Adepts. Though now we see this Protoss team anyways try and go back to the older style, you know, those Blink Stalkers and just a lot of splash those Colossus. Yeah, I'm not personally a fan, but...
Yeah, the interesting thing is Adepts with that Resonating Glaive are actually really good against all units now, Lurkers and Roaches included. They're super effective versus single target units like a Hydralisk, but they attack so darn fast, they're just good generally. And so I'm surprised we don't actually have any Adepts in this army. Not no, but like any Adepts.
Blink Stalkers too, like their main contribution to the Colossus thing is that they can blink forward and take out Corruptors, for instance. And Heart of the Swarm, you really didn't see that often. You know, they just kind of skipped Colossus, went straight to High Templars, or they went mass Blink Stalker. In this game, we don't have any Corruptors, so they're not helping the Colossus in that way, and they're not exactly in mass either. Well, okay, now we do, and they're not in mass either. So I preferred, you know, those past 2 or 3 fights. Like, what if they had all been Adepts? Would that have gone a lot better? I don't know.
I think mostly the big problem is that we've seen this twice now. The Stalkers and the Colossus are getting chunked by those Lurkers. The bonus damage versus armor is just a little too much. I think the Adepts would actually have some more survivability, given the situation, but still getting back down to normal speed. Void Rays are going to help push this back. Not a lot of upgrades on these bad boys, but they are on +1.
Yeah. And this game is actually really evened out as we, you know, theory crafting here. As I think Zerg made a couple mistakes being a little overeager. Did lose out like a big chunk of like 40 supply in the chase, and then had a tough time recovering. And there are a lot of base snipes going on here. We have Infested Terrans in the upper right, sniping the 4th base of the Protoss, but 3 more bases are... Oh, wait a minute. That Nexus is on the wrong side.
It was, but on purpose, because he kept losing it on this side.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Or they, pardon me.
Accidentally put a Nexus over there.
I do think one of the problems, though, you brought it up just a moment ago, the chasing. That's where Disruptors really shine, and we never saw the Disruptors used. And it feels like they just said, you know what, that unit wasn't so great, I'm not going to make it again. But the reality is it just wasn't being used correctly, and the devastating power that comes with it that almost auto-defeats Hydra, Lurker, or Roach is being completely overlooked.
Yeah. I would also really like they're investing so much into these Void Rays. I mean, they're getting a very scary composition for, I want to say, like, mid-Heart of the Swarm. The scariest composition you can get in Legacy of the Void is actually, like, Void Ray, Tempest, Oracle, Carrier. Like, mass air, basically. And then you add in a couple of Archons underneath, but... I think they could have a better composition, but the one they have now is still pretty darn scary. But of course, you have to... add in the fact that Vipers are a lot better than they are in Heart of Swarm 2, and there's a ton of them ready to go. So.
Well, not only that, let's not forget, Parasitic Bomb, for whatever silly reason, stacks its damage. So 4 Void Rays are stacked on top of each other, that's 4 times the damage. So if it is going to be clumped up, the funny thing is the Colossus can be targeted by it. The Void Rays can. I mean, Parasitic Bomb in and of itself alone is not a lot of damage to those high health, high shield units. It's only 90 damage over 7 seconds, but that stacks.
Yeah. And Parasitic Bomb would obviously be good coupled with Corruptors and Hydras and Infestors against that mass air army I was talking about too, but the difference there is that, well, either composition could have High Templars, first of all, which I think the Protoss really needs right now. But second of all, the Tempest plus Oracle combination can snipe those Vipers from a distance.
Yes.
Here, the Vipers might very well be able to leave. The Blink Stalker control isn't on point.
It is just, again, awkward looking at this. But, oh, Chitinous putting an Ultralisk coming up next. That could either be a great move or a huge throw, actually. The great move part of it is they'll soak all the damage on the ground, but with the Void Rays prismatically aligned, they're not really going to care too much about that Chitinous plating at all.
Aggressively expanding is a bold move, but here come all those Parasitic Bombs. Oh dear God!
Oh, they hit everything.
Let's go down.
The Colossus are killing each other by staying close to each other like that. Oh no!
Oh, Jesus.
Team Protoss takes another huge loss, and wasn't this the same location they got wrecked in before?
Yeah, and look at that bank. Look at this, the Remax from the Zerg player. I mean, they just don't make the same mistake last time, you know, don't send like, 10, 20 army supply in one at a time. Wait for the reinforcements and then push forward. And, oh, by the way, carry Overseers. Your DTs don't destroy your army. And they should win. I mean, again, the expanding behind this from the Protoss player is on point. Like, and hopefully they're probes to be transferred to the new bases, but they're constantly losing these army battles. The Zerg should eventually win.
Unfortunately, though, that army supply is so crazy. I don't know. Ultra's going to push to the top. Those cannons do the best they can to defend. They're actually getting some good shots off on the Ultras. I guess if you have enough cannons, it'll get it done.
And the DTs.
Yeah, the DTs taking huge swipes.
Yeah, again, like that's one thing I said not to do.
So we actually have someone in chat asking, I heard one of the casters mention Colossus got something back, but what did she mean by that? For those who don't know, Colossus had their range pretty heavily nerfed. It sounds silly to say that because it was only by 1, but it was enough to make them useless. They got that back recently, and now they're the same as they are in HOTS.
The Archons deal a huge amount of damage to those low health Corruptors and the Overseers, and actually take them out. So once again, having to retreat from just DTs being warped in. Super frustrating, because once again, we have that army supply, I think it was like 120 versus 40 or something. It's starting to even up again, but see Zerg with that huge bank still in the lead.
Well, you know why they have all these crazy cannons, right? It's like the 5th base to go down to these infested Terran hit squad.
Yes. And it can also just be a good use of all that income they had from that gold base. You know, the gas was still hard to get by, but now the gold has been depleted. They can start mining from the gas geysers easier. But I still don't think that this game bodes well for them. You know, not just because I guess they're running out of money and they can't really get maxed out again, but also because whenever they were maxed out, they lost the fight tragically anyways.
Yeah,
so.
like it wasn't even close was the terrifying part of that, right? Like it was really bad engagements. I guess the upside is that all the energy units are gone, right? So there's no Infestors here, there's no Vipers with this army, the Ultralisk is almost dead.
That's true.
This is a fight Protoss could take.
Vipers got killed either from sloppy management or just a couple lucky Archon blasts. I'm not sure which, but
probably the Archon blow when they clumped up above that base to the north with those cannons. But this Nexus is going to go down. A little bit scared to take the fight. I don't blame them, but they are getting closer and closer to bridging that gap. Lots of Void Rays going to be focused. I don't like that they're going for Void Rays, to be completely honest with you. They haven't invested so heavily into them that it's a necessity. Like, okay, I got to make the best of this.
Okay, those Lings do not have Adrenal Gland, unfortunately. They do have 2-3, though.
Yeah, they're going to still wreck a lot of stuff. Actually, the DTs might just save this. Pylon will go down, of course, but Lings won't end the game.
I feel like DTs have saved a lot of the Protoss's butt in this game. About 95% of its butt.
95% of its butt. What would the other 5% of its butt be?
Mauled and bitten.
Klingons. Ew.
It's like that little flesh, like, dangly part that's left over, you know? Like,
ew! New! I don't want to visualize this at all. Oh my gosh.
I have some pretty horrific stories that my EMT brother has told me, so...
Oh god.
I can get in some pretty gruesome detail.
This guy got so anally frustrated, he just blew out half his cheek.
Oh my god, what? No, that has nothing to do with... Oh my god.
His base gets killed. Again, mistakes getting made here. Team Zerg's got money to work with, but losses like that are unnecessary. Especially when you've got Archon mode going on. One player should be dedicated to watching that base, hitting the cancel.
Yeah. Trying to defend the bottom base, but forgot to take the gases. There we go. There they are, and that's what they need right now is gas. Allowing Protoss to catch up just barely in that supply is, well, Zerg's just really waiting, Like, they're trying to get these Ling run bys, which are pretty good.
I mean, so the funny thing, you're right, like, these are... I'm going to be as blunt as I can about this, but I don't want this to sound offensive. Like, these have been tragically bad engagements out of both players for a majority of this game. More so for the Protoss. I am shocked that the Protoss, though, has brought this back to a position where maybe they could win this. I say this with a question mark.
Maybe. Maybe. Just always depends on those fights. And now that the Vipers are gone and the Ultras are gone, maybe the fights are actually winnable. I don't know.
Can they kill some units up here? Actually, they're killing a lot of the Hydras, surprisingly.
Yeah, the Nexus is going to go down now, and that is a pretty important base, as the gold has been taken out, and now he's back down just one base mining. A couple of Spine Crawlers might be able to take out a couple of Zealots, but they are completely out of each other's position, so a base for a base.
This tweet, though.
Right? Oh, we have those Vipers back at home. I guess the macro player was alerting the micro player to it.
I don't actually think this will be enough Vipers to get the parasitic, or rather, there's not enough air for this parasitic bombs to be effective. Blinding Clouds can still be nice with the amount of Stalkers in play, but as weird as it is, this ragtag army that both teams have, I feel that the Protoss one is better.
Yeah, I think so too. Which is just not what it seems like it should have gone, basically. But a couple mistakes here and there. A lot of mistakes, really. But I'm mostly thinking to not taking the gases as quickly as possible and losing the bases, constantly, of course, hurting as well. But
yeah,
it's really been a limiting factor.
Well, the gases have been problematic for both teams for a very long time. And reality is, Lings and Zealots are not the best for either player to go for. Actually, do they even have Zealot charge? By the way, they do not.
Oh. Well, it's...
It's only like a 8 damage per charge on like 40 Zealots. No big deal.
It looks like the Protoss is going to win. This is quite the turn of events, and I feel like the Zerg just kind of let it get out of control. I don't know if they're bad for not being able to capitalize on two very good engagements. But of course, just the constant harassment of the DTs barely defending back at home. All that very frustrating stuff to deal with for anyone.
I actually agree. Like, there's two, not just minor wins, but monstrous wins, and no counterattack to follow it up. And I think that is the biggest problem.
Whatever counterattack followed up lost the Overseers, and then it just lost its momentum after that. Whatever, if there were enough units, if there weren't enough units, both times they had to retreat because of these DTs, and Protoss found a way back in. And now they're up 60 supply. 60 army supply too. Like, this is quite bad for Zerg.
I don't know how to deal with these fortresses, to be completely honest with you. I just don't think the air count is here.
Yeah, a couple of like really poor micro scenarios maybe with the parasitic bomb.
I mean, that's true, and if one thing has been a constant in this game, the Protoss have taken bad engagements when they have great units. So, like, I say this half jokingly, but I am also kind of serious.
So for like 2 minutes, I would say that's enough time where you try and get your gas, right? But beyond 2 minutes, you should probably try and use your 2,000 mineral bank for something. Now, I just used it on 5 queens and a hatchery, which I don't know. I guess he's out of larva? Not really. I don't know about that, but my point is, like, for the last 8 minutes, we've talked about, like, a 2,000 mineral bank, but no gas bank. And the gas bank is certainly important. Very key units are missing, Vipers and whatnot. But I feel like there could have been so many more swells of Ling floods that could have taken out some very key structures. Now it would have been useless, because the army is where it is, and the army's probably going to win the game. But 6 minutes ago, I think they could have done a lot. An
investment into adrenal glands would have been really nice to have at some point as well.
Yeah.
Actually, adrenal glands would have made those Ling floods. I almost called them sluts. I don't know. Even better. Those legs are not wearing enough clothing. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Wow, judgmental.
I'm link shaming. What can I say?
Ugh.
No, but in all sincerity, like ling run bys would have been fantastic. Adrenal glands. I mean, we saw the one ling run by. Look at this. They still never canceled that void ray or rebuilt the pylon on the Stargate. It's still unpowered and still.
It is frustrating. This bottom left base is effectively dead anyway, so there's no use to defending it, but it would be so easy. Just like move the units a little bit. They're gonna give up the middle bottom base too. Now the Protosses have that in control. They can't deal with a couple of Blink Stalkers attacking their middle base. That's questionable. They don't want to move out of fear that that's just gonna trigger the main army to kill the rest of their very important bases, which has been the name of the game. Either the main army or a couple of DTs killing their outlying bases.
Yeah. The Rassier is good. Even though it's not killing anything major, it's denying mining, which is pretty key. Zerg players are on 0 mineral income. Keep in mind all the bases they have are mined out. So this is kind of do or die. Get some money or go for the attack, but a 96 army supply versus 171? Just didn't even realize the army supply was 171. A good chunk of that is Zealots, but I guess that's the cause and effect of losing so many probes over the course of the game.
Protoss is kind of throwing away units here and there, which is questionable.
But they can't afford it. I mean, that's the sad reality of the situation.
Yeah, now that they have another base going on, they can't afford like 600 minerals here and there. It just feels so useless, I guess is my point. Like, these Stalkers, trying to get a couple of lurker shots, lurker kills, it's really, they're pretty important. And it's something for the macro player to do. Probably as much macro going on right now.
Yeah. Well, Disruptor's coming up next. Really irritated a little bit here as a caster just how long it took to get these back into play, but I can't begin to stress how good Disruptors are at breaking things like a lurker line. But there's not lurker lines. There's not really anything.
Yeah, there's Roach Hydra army with a couple of very key spellcasters, but just not enough of anything. And now, of course, we have High Templars in the field, so feedbacks are going to be just huge, and that's definitely...
Yeah, watching the Vipers.
Earlier,
trying to stack them up. Awkward. I guess Revelation does reveal this army, and they're going to turn around to deal with it. But
if they took an army fight, they would win. I mean, it seems like both parties are afraid they're going to lose their key bases.
I mean, I understand Protoss being scared to take an engagement. I mean, they're up 150 supply, but if they play like they did earlier, they'll probably lose the fight again.
Yeah, just, you have to be careful. A couple of lurkers do burrow, could get some key shots, but it's really about the parasitic bombs. Like, where are they? There they are, they're stacked up now. And are they really going to be that good? We have storms involved now, too. Gotta kill those High Templars somehow.
He can't get in there. They are a little too scared of those High Templar, but if they realize there's no energy left on them, they might just dive. No, they're just gonna throw it. GG. And looks like, yeah. That'll tie up the series 1-1. Team Protoss taking one. Woo! Jazz hands. Alright, so let's just hop into game 3 as quick as we can here. And then, of course, once again, we got Suppy and Silky and the University of Washington after this. Suppy and Silky, of course, play for Berkeley, just to clarify. Man, I have had so many bottles of water today. The solo cast earlier, the 50-minute game with Lily, Kanine, and Theo, I think I drank like 2 whole bottles of water during that one game alone.
Oh, wow.
That's bad.
That's a lot.
But at least I'm hydrated, right?
Sure, yeah.
Give me the Mr. Bean thumbs up. All right, they've gone back to Zerg, so we're going to have a ZVZ to finish this off. Spawning in the top right corner of the map. Playing for... I'm going to just 50-50 this. Alabama? South Alabama, I think. It's going to be Kokomite, and Regor. I'll check that out after.
In the bottom left is the yellow Zerg. It's the Archon team. Oh, they didn't say good luck, have fun this time. Theo.
What? How do you not know this? They're both players we've cast before.
They are?
Theory and Remix.
It's just not that many letters afterwards either. Like, it should be really easy to remember.
Right, like you should be able to connect the. It's like I'd like to solve the. I'd like to solve, please.
I feel like here's my problem. Okay.
Go on.
When it comes to Archon mode in general, I usually resort to saying the yellow or blue Archon.
Yes, same.
with everyone, and then I have to remind myself, like, oh, that's right, we were casting Ryung and Heart. Like, I would actually forget those two guys, even though they're on the same team and we love them. But it's just the habit I get into.
Team Rio and her.
Yeah.
No, Rio and here.
Yeah, Rhea and her.
Rio and her.
Crank posted a really sad goodbye Reddit post, just speaking of Axiom. It was really sad.
Yeah, I have something to tell you about that too regarding BlizzCon. But we do have Theo, Theory and Remix, taking a very interesting natural base. I mean, Orbital Shipyard and ZVZ, you want to have a faster third anyway, so this is perfectly fine. It's just as abnormal to see it taken out towards your third.
Yeah. Well, it just makes it a little trickier, you know? Like, what if in that one situation, that one Ling Flood, you could have had 2 queens blocking that one ramp? Well, now you can't. So.
Yep.
Let's do it. You were right there? Did you hiccup and you hurt yourself?
Yep.
That's what you do when you burp.
Yep. Give me a sec.
Yep. Yep, anyway. Alright, we got link speed on the way for both parties. We'll see if anyone takes a fast third. That's what happened in the last CVZ.
I'm a man who can shut up. I hate hiccuping. It hurts. I don't know how it doesn't hurt people. Like, ugh.
We have normal diaphragms.
My diaphragm's so strong it hurts when it hiccups. Because I'm really manly.
Your doctor just like listening in or whatever, and he's like, you have a really weak diaphragm. Why would you say that?
My doctor watched Starcraft. That'd be super cool. I've had to actually explain to my chiropractor recently because, like, the whole paying him, he's like really confused about what I do and like whether I can pay him. And I'm like, look, dude, if I got the money, like, don't worry about it. Like, you're obviously not understanding what Twitch is. Why is this a big deal? And that's like what half of our session is, me trying to explain a broadcast to him.
Yeah, it's always so frustrating. Usually, if it just gets too bad, you just say like YouTube.
I say it's like YouTube but live. That's what I always resort to. That's my go-to.
Yeah, but then they're confused when it's like live. So if you don't want to talk to people,
it's so irritating because, like, okay, when we were in Germany, everybody we met knew what it was. The Home Story Cup, like, you walk down the street and some random guy was talking about StarCraft. Like, okay, cool. North America, you're like, all right, so you know YouTube? No. Oh, okay, well, this is gonna be really hard then.
Yeah. Oh, we have a Ling attack coupled with a couple of Banelings from a Yellow Zerg here. Gonna try and deny the third base from Teal, but that's gonna get up, and it might have some time to produce some larvae.
These Banelings aren't gonna get a chance to hatch at this rate if they can get this round on them.
He has more Banelings in the main. It's all good.
Yo, this
all
feels
good.
like
Don't panic! Don't panic!
Too late. They're panicking. Banelings go off on everything, but Yellow Zerg's left with a couple of Lings left alive. However, that Baneling's too big of a threat to really get anything done. They might go for the third. But keep in mind, this is fairly dedicated. They are 8 drones behind, not from losing anything, but from dedicating to this attack.
I think this is the reverse of what happened in the first game, CPC? I can't remember who did what. I think it's the reverse, though. So basically, this Ling attack, I mean, basically, like, almost all in here. It didn't kill the third base. It's down in workers. Not work, and it feels like a lot because that initial, attack it was kind of poor. The Banelings exploded on each other, weren't enough Lings to do anything. Nothing got really hectic. In fact, just took another Baneling hit to them. That was pretty bad. And it just fizzles out from there.
It's not just that it didn't work; it wasn't worth. Like this dedication at this point is really going to get them killed unless they get some damage done at some point. But Blue Zerg takes a pretty nasty Baneling hit here too. Both teams, oh god, just constantly magnets to Banelings.
The production of the third base is going to kick in soon, too, with a queen on the way. I don't think Yellow can do this.
Nope. I mean, they're going to keep scrapping it out, but I feel like this is one of those games where you're going to see a long death, a long drawn-out bleed out. They do defend at home, though, worth noting. The queens are going to hold on to this hatchery.
Sure, yeah, I mean... No third base, not enough drones. Trying to get a couple of drones. Nope, not even. They're just going to continue going along with it. But now they're all inning on their side of the map, dealing with their opponent's Banelings. And they are going to get outproduced soon. We already have a lot of minerals in the bank for Teal. Now maybe when their third queen gets into effect, their lava is going to reflect the mineral bank here. And that's going to be way too many Lings. Way too many.
They're probably going to keep those 4 Lings on that Baneling. Would have taken out 2. Would have been not a bad trade, but it's not about little trades at this point. It's about trying to win the game. Now in the defense, Team Yellow is going to focus down these Banelings. 2 queens are actually really useful in this situation.
Very
Kills some
useful.
of the larva though.
But there's something happening behind this, you know? It's not yellow Zerg just barely defending. What?
Big baneling hits on the other side of the map. Every ling gets cut off and killed.
Oh, well, that's nice. That's, you know, a morale booster. But still, they're not defending towards a purpose. They have no third base. They have no lair. They have nothing that's going to beat the other person long term unless they can just get a surprise ling swell.
Yeah, I mean,
those transfers over to roaches.
Light blue Archon, they did get up to 41 workers while this is going on, literally more than double than their opponents. So income's gonna look fantastic, but can they fend off the all-in until roaches come? Can they fend off the all-in until they're ready to actually fight? Because their army supply is still just non-existent.
I think so. I mean, yellow has to wait for banelings. Only one here, and it's gonna go off in just a couple of lings. And now this is a lot of time, if nothing else, bots for the roaches to come out. The Spinecrawler to finish. Or more banelings.
Oh. Nope!
It's like a ling got into the main base of the yellow, so it distracts him a little bit, but...
I kind of feel like eating that one big baneling to the face, killing like 8 lings there was just pretty much what seals the deal on this. Spinecrawler and the Queen are going to be able to focus on any of the banelings that come in here. And, I mean, there's a bank. They're making 28 lings now. They can make queens if they wanted to. They're having a bit of a larva problem as we speak, but not much. I mean, their supply still looks good.
Yeah, larva problem and gas problem. And also, you just don't want to... If you do go too quickly to roaches, you can have that little, like... That 1 minute where you have 4 roaches, but they have 30 lings, and you could get overwhelmed. So, I actually like that they held off on roaches for a little while longer. Maybe get a couple of more of their own banelings just to be really secure. But regardless, even though they have finally lost a fight, it's only, like, you know, short term. They got a lot more lings on the way in these roaches. One baneling making a shot. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Nope.
Nope.
Oh, larva.
It did get the larva, but I'm still not too worried. The army supplies are starting to even up. The roaches are staying alive. 9 more are on the way. And the drones getting pulled means nothing really dies here. If this hatchery goes down, okay, that could really suck. But he should be able to clean this up with the drones, I feel. And there we go. Surround on the lings.
Yep. Surround of the roaches goes down. Does
like
kill them off.
2 of the, like, 9 roaches.
Yeah, now all Teal has to do is counterattack. I mean, behind the counterattack, they could get a lair and an evo chamber, but as long as they have even just a couple of roaches at home or a couple of banelings, they should have the freedom to close out this game. There's a bit of a sneaky baneling attack, maybe hoping to kind of catch the drones at the very least off guard, but there really aren't that many drones to kill at the third base. They're still kind of spread out.
No, again, the Spinecrawler, the Queen, they should have this pretty much on lockdown.
Yeah. I feel at this point, yellow knows that the game is over, but they always gotta, you know, that's the only thing they can try is nothing but lings and banelings.
No, it's amazing into the best of 3.
It does. But that's a lot of roaches. That is, you know, that depressing moment where you know that you've lost the game. Maybe try a desperate counterattack and a desperate base trade, but probably ain't gonna happen either. Oh, queens are every which way in Seal's base.
Yeah, I guess. There's the roaches. They're gonna get walked by, but this is not so problematic, I feel. This portion of the map down here in yellow's natural is what's dangerous. This is what's gonna kill the game. This is what's gonna end the game. Spinecrawlers are not done for this attack. They get here just in time to focus those down. No cancels, just kills. Don't let your queens be dreams.
And back at home, the baneling defense is good against the last desperate ling attack. GG.
All right, cool beans. It looks like this will go to the University of South Alabama.
After watching True Detective, I feel like I'm not a fan of the South right now.
Oh, I'm not in the CSL channel for some reason. Cool. Well, that means next up we got Suppy and Silky versus 2 player names who are weird and I don't remember. We'll pull this up in a second. We're just going to go to break while we get that ready to go. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, folks, we're back. Thanks for watching. We're going to be hopping into the next series right now. You can already hear the countdown starting. This one's live. These matches, everyone's here for. There's no more replays. You can see the tail end of that lobby before we load in. It's going to be the University of Berkeley, Team Golden Bears, Suppy and Silky, versus the University of Washington, Banana Crackers, Yup, Wildcard, and Tuna. These are phenomenal names, I must say. It's kind of cool to see that Yup Wildcard, though, is at least Masters League, so might not be a totally one-sided match. I was kind of joking around with Zombie, but the reality is you've got Suppy and Silky, who have both played professional quality games, and they're both Zergs. There's no race discrepancies here. I kind of got to imagine they're going to have an easier time in this series. But we'll see which University of what reigns supreme. Spawning here towards the northern side of Dash and Terminal. They got some funny names. It's going to be Team of Banana Cracker, comprised of Yup Wildcard and Tuna, representing the University of Washington.
On the right side, as the red Zerg, it's Silky and Suppy.
Team Golden Bears from UC Berkeley.
Is it the mascot?
I don't actually know. I don't know any of these mascots.
Like, I'm not into college sports at all. I always found college sports to be very... What?
Actually, before you tell this story, that reminds me, that thing we ordered, or those two things we ordered,
Colleges.
a message. Yeah. I was like, yo, well, yeah, those colleges we ordered. We're getting architects on them right now, guys. I asked, like, hey, is there any way we could have these before November 5th? And they said, shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes.
That's cool. Well, I have basic openings. Like, I was going to say, I always found college sports to be interesting because, I mean, really the only reason people like them is A, they can cheer for their team, or at the very least like their state or neighborhood, you know, if you live in like a college town, and B, so that you can find out who's actually going to be in the professional teams. Like, oh, that guy's a senior and he's made, you know,
I knew that guy
really
before
well.
he was cool.
Or that, yeah, also that. Those are really the two biggest reasons that people like them, because like, as everything else, there's such like a circle jerk of like, hey, we only watch like the best of the best. So, you know, like women's sports are kind of silly, or like, you know, kids leagues are kind of silly. And I'm like, yeah, but college football is like stupid big, but technically it's not the best of the best. Technically.
Yeah, I always hear all these things. Like, again, this is trickling down to somebody who A, doesn't live in the States, and B, doesn't really follow anything. But I always hear these things about like how there's lots of money and all this crazy shit that goes on, and like how there's arguments that athletes need to be paid more even though they're not professionals, and the coaches get paid too much, and this, that, and the other. And I'm always just like, why do people make such a big deal of this? It's not professional. Why is this such a big deal?
They really like college sports, man. I mean, there is some serious college spirit, which I might understand had I gone to a college worth having college spirit for. But I didn't, so. Anyways.
Lynn's gonna focus on one of the drones, back away. Remember, it is Red Archon that we're kind of expecting to take the series here because they are the professional players. I mean, Suppy's gotten very far through WCS. And one of the things we saw, and the reason that I reference this is there's a couple of matches Zombie I've been cast where we saw players transition from HOTS to Legacy, and they didn't use any new Legacy units or mechanics. They just used macro and micro mechanics from HOTS with old school units, and they would players like Ryung's a good example. Is they get to the finals of an Alima League and they get absolutely stomped by somebody who knew how Legacy of the Void worked. I kind of imagine it'd be somewhat the same here, where Suppy and Silky might just get by on their equivalent of good looks alone, like their skill that they've acquired over time will just carry through most of this, I would imagine. I don't think the fact of whether they know how Ravagers work or not will really be too influential.
Looks fade, Rifkin.
I know. You gotta get some personality, girl.
Oh, wow. I say girl.
Because I'm talking to you.
It's rude.
If I called you a guy, I think it'd be a little ruder. You look very handsome today, Zombie Girl.
Gotta be like a general sense. You got all like personal. Anyways, so we have a big Ling Roach all in, basically, which has been a very popular build in ZVZ and Legacy of the Void. It can be very difficult to defend, especially if any Ravagers are accompanying it. Killing the overlords on the way too is a big headache.
Well, the Ravagers will actually take out the Spine Crawlers too, which will stop roaches, but no Ravagers being made yet. And I guess we put a lot of emphasis on Team Red. The question is, can Team Purple, do they know the mechanics and the strategies and things as well? These 2 extra Spine Crawlers look like they will finish up, but ooh, that burrow was really nice.
Yep.
Gonna heal up that roach.
Yeah, so I guess they got burrow instead of Ravagers. The Baneling hits were really not that bad.
Burrow's proving to be really effective here, though.
Spine Crawlers aren't even a plentiful. They one is like in the back, not even helping right now, and it looks like this all-in is going to work. Now that's really unfortunate, as the two pro gamers.
Bailings are at the top. I wouldn't call this just yet.
It's a lot of damage.
They are up 10. Like, let's not forget, Team Red is up 10 workers. If they can live through this.
That's true. That is true. The workers have not been touched yet. The Lings are just barely getting that surround on the roaches. The burrow was not used fast enough. They thought they could take the fight a little bit better, I suppose.
They actually had fantastic burrow micro leading into this, though, I gotta say.
Yeah, I guess they really thought that they could take the fight a little bit better. Their own Lings are reinforcing, trying to help out those roaches. And finally, the drone count might be touched here.
Maybe a little bit. He's got to finish off these with that overseer. He's actually going to fall back. It's not going to take this fight. Ling's going to try and flood in to help. Now that drone line's getting hurt. Now the worker count's been evened up. And of course, with the queen going down, that's less larva for Red to work with. If they can hold up to the Spire, it's questionable whether this game can proceed for them or not. But they're almost defending this.
Yeah, just barely almost. More Lings are on the way for Purple, though, and a third base behind it. So those Mutas got to do something pretty good here. Only down by 3 workers. The Mutas could have their chance to shine, but it really is becoming the only thing they can do. They're still taking damage from the burrow.
Burrow is going to get cleaned up here by the drones. Oh my god, there we go. Last hit with the Overseer finally coming back. Natural base, though, is going to go down.
Oh, that's game. Yeah.
Yeah, Hydra's then coming up behind it. Red held on pretty well, but it's going to be... I can't say this name seriously. Yup, Wildcard and Tuna, aka Banana Cracker, take game number 1.
As the two, basically, everyone expects them to win, right? Like, as 2 pro gamers, I feel like your only fear going into a game like this is being overconfident and cheese, and both happened.
Yeah, maybe. Again, they were so close. Like, if they had cut drones 5 earlier, if they had defended it a little bit. I mean, the Spine Crawlers almost did the job, and of course, nobody was expecting that burrow play. That burrow was really well executed and got quite a bit of damage done. But it's going to be up to them to pick the second map. We'll find out what it's going to look like here in a moment. Again, just thanking you guys quickly for tuning in. Joining us here on the stream tonight. And are you, I guess, it doesn't matter if I ask you this now or later, are you good for, how are you feeling for this? Like, are you going to be good for casting tomorrow, or?
Yeah, sure. It'll be another 24 hours.
Cool. I heal fast, Rifkin, alright? Get off my back. Gosh. Ugh.
I do feel like my head weighs a ton. And it got really hot over the course of the last hour.
I like how it looked like you were kind of fighting, throwing up. Like, fighting back, throwing up while you said that. As I stumble at my words here. How was
no. That's fine. It more like I'd be fighting back, fainting. Because I feel kind of, lightheaded.
Are you drinking lots of fluids?
No, Mom. That's why I went downstairs and grabbed water.
Yo, I always hated that, right? So, your whole life, that's what every typical parent says when you're sick. That's what your doctor will tell you, too. And it just sounds like such a cliche thing. It wasn't until I got, really desperate where I had that one ear infection where, you remember that month where I was just, sick all month?
Yes.
I remember finally, week 3, I was like, screw it. I'm just going to drink, 1.5 gallons of water every day and see what happens. And, boom, I cleared up in, 2 days. I'm kind of mad now that, every time in my life that I've been sick, I didn't go and just chug fluid. It's, to get better.
My mom told me to get over it. Just kidding.
Your mom's walking off. Walking off. You're back in America now.
Nah, she takes care of me under the guise of telling me to get over it.
So it's like the face of tough love, but behind it, it's like, do you want more chicken noodle soup? Let me just tuck
exactly what it is. She bought me chicken noodle soup today because we put it on the list, so she made sure to go out today and get it.
So I don't know if any of your cats do this, but my cats always know when I'm sick, what's wrong with me, it feels. Or my cat, Millie, basically. And, if my tummy's bothering me, she'll sit on my tummy. If I've got, a headache, she'll sit near my head on my shoulder, like when I'm lying down. My cat is like a baller at purring in the right places.
So did you know that a cat's purr what's the word? Basically like the levels that they purr at. Crap, I can't remember. Anyways, is the same frequency. Haha. Frequency as when doctors use sound waves on like your skin.
I heard about that. There's a cast that was inspired by that or something. Like it does the supersonic through your bone to heal faster because something to do with cats. Yeah, no, I remember because I remember the first time I heard about that actually was really sad. It was like when cats are really badly hurt, they can purr, and it's not because they're happy, obviously, but because it helps them heal or something.
Oh yeah, because it makes them it makes it feel nice. Yeah, that's really sad to learn that, but it is true. So, anyways, whenever like Apollo, because Apollo likes to use my arm as like a headrest.
It's like
it's like his favorite thing to do. It's so cute, but I'm always appreciative because like I have messed up wrists, and his purring makes him better.
He's just like, I'm gonna nuzzle in like right over here, right on the wrist. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's why she has so many cats, by the way, guys. Like one for each joint of her body. So
just surround myself.
you starfish in the bed and be like, cats, assemble.
Today I went into my parents' room and talked to my dad. He had one cat, Pyro. 2 minutes later, there was 4 cats. Cats just follow me.
They all missed you, Zombie Grub. They're all just like, Mama's home. Or other Mama's home.
Yeah. He's so cute. I took an Instagram video, but the purring was too loud. It was kind of an annoying video, so I deleted it.
Oh, okay. That's like one time that's going to be an issue. There's too much purring.
For whatever reason, like, I didn't think it was that bad when I was Instagramming Korea, but in my bed, on my cat, it made the loudest noise. Like I would shift the covers and it'd be like whoosh.
Yo, actually,
what the hell?
No, some were pretty bad. Like some of the aquarium ones, I had to like throw my headsets off. I was like, oh, why is it so loud? Ugh.
Okay, first of all, that's your bad because I always expect Instagram to have very poor quality loud videos.
Like, excuse you, okay, Rifkin? The aquarium was just fine. The thousands of people that my mic was picking up, not my problem. That's your problem.
I'm saying it is a problem that is your problem you didn't know was a problem.
Oh, okay. I see. So what you're saying, I should have just like anticipated terribleness no matter what. Okay.
Your job is not hard. Anticipate my every need.
Pretty much. Right, we're gonna hop into Terraform map number 2. We don't got cool intros. It's CSL, not base straight TV. So let's just hop through this and see what this has in store. Remember, anyone who's just joining in, University of Washington, Team Banana Cracker, Yup, Wildcard, and Tuna are the ones up 1-0 currently in the series. Also, I started following The Rock recently, and I gotta say, I love his tweets and I love his Instagrams.
The Rock is really cool media. He's a cool guy.
He is a cool. Like I feel like there's a lot of celebrities out there that are really intimidating, right? Like I don't feel like I could just like sit around anybody. But The Rock just seems like a guy you would want to just chill with, man. Like I'm just saying.
So The Rock, Vin Diesel, and Terry Crews. Right, that's his name.
Yeah,
like
black
they're all
guy.
like this big, like like hulking men, like should be like really scary, but they're actually like big softies and cuties.
Terry Crews especially, I love him on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Terry loves yogurt.
Terry loves his yogurt and his daughters. When he makes him like the Princess Castle or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the CSL where we're just totally off track. Spawning here in the top left corner of the map, playing for UC Berkeley. It's going to be the Red Archon, Suppy, and Silky.
In the bottom right, as the Teal Archon, it's Tuna and Yup, Wildcard.
I guess I don't really need the top bar on anymore unless they tell me to put that back, since now that one of the most recent changes was they're splitting the names in the overlay. Another cool thing is we did go to Blizzard. We suggested this and was told that they're kind of already working on it, where at some point, someday, you'll be able to differentiate who's doing what in the Archon mode by the targeting circles. So, for example, we know one of the players is selected in the hatchery, but we don't know which. So color coding those circles would be really cool, knowing that, like, player 1 is blue and player 2 is red or something like that.
So I was having a conversation with, actually, I think, Wolf in Korea. And basically he was just talking about, like, the Community Summit and what's been announced already, like the UI and whatnot. And he was like, what else did they tell you? And I was like, well, I can't tell you, but I don't really remember, to be honest. And he was like, oh, well, no big deal. But then I just sat there thinking about it, and I realized there's actually, like, a ton more that's supposed to come out. Like, they actually still have a lot to show before or after it comes out, actually, because it's like a whole plan. But I totally forgot.
Yeah, no, there was a similar post where someone was like, Lycan, you promised us we'd shit our pants with the Legacy of the Void release. When's that gonna happen? I'm just like, yeah, he's just waiting. Like, calm down.
Yeah, well, that plus a lot of the things that have come out were already supposed to be pretty impressive. Like, at the end of the day, when you compile the list of things that they've done for Legacy of the Void, compared to especially anything else for the Wings of Liberty, like, it is a lot already.
I actually think there's less in both Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, but there is a lot more cool stuff that people have asked for specifically. They're getting on top of, and I didn't remember that until someone like made me think of it. But anyways,
he's all like, whatever. I know you're not telling me. There's no NDA. You're just being a jerk.
Yeah, we're being a jerk right now, just like teasing you guys.
I got friends who've actually pulled that card on me. They're like, you probably didn't even sign an NDA. You just don't want to talk about it with me. Whatever. And I'm just like, don't be passive aggressive. I literally can't talk to you about this.
No, the card that Wolf pulled on me was like, oh, I'll probably just ask them.
I'm cool enough.
Okay. Sorry.
They might not have invited me, but I'm cool enough that they would tell me. It's all good.
No, yeah, I think they did invite him actually, because he was this way, like, brought it up.
Oh, okay. Benliness for both players, by the way, so nothing too weird. They'll scout this as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine that Suppy and Silky are going to be a lot more on top of scouting. Really overreactive drone pool, or just bad micro, either one.
Why not both? Revealing the layer timing, not a huge deal because they did start their layer before they scouted it, so they should be on time to deal with anything that comes out of this. I mean, if it's going to be mutas, that would certainly be interesting, but I know for a fact that Suppy excels at mutas, and it's not. It's actually going to be Hydra Den.
Fast lurkers? No way, just fast mutas. I mean, hydras.
I mean, if it's fast lurkers, that's kind of cool, but it also is really risky because you can't really... You're not going to have a lot to defend until they're actually out and ready to go. And
yeah.
They don't see it actually on that scout. One random banling, where did you come from, buddy?
They do see it now. The question is, can they do something about it? Do they have enough larvae? Do they have enough cash to throw a bunch of lings? Or what is the other response? Okay, they take a third base.
One of the things I don't like that they changed recently, one of the more recent patches, was they removed the Ravager range upgrade. That was really good at dealing with lurkers, and it's unfortunate that that's no longer in play, but it's staying as Hydra Den for now. We do have a Spire coming up for Team Red.
Now this is going to be very interesting. I mean, there's this huge point in time where if they had just, thrown a bunch of lings at Teal, they probably would have won. But now that time has passed, and now you have a time where maybe Tuna and Yup can go ahead and get lurkers out and deal damage before the mutas are ready. But that is also questionable, as the lurker den still hasn't started. I really thought that would be the first thing to come out, and so that's one Hydra. Look at me! Oh, there's more over here. Okay. But still, it's 4 or 5 Hydras. Those could be surrounded easily with a flood of lings. Those are not that good. I'm confused.
It's not so much like I'm confused. I'm more just waiting to see what the dedication looks like here, right? I mean, like banelings and lings are gonna have no problem dealing with the Hydras. We see this happen in HOTS a lot, actually, where the mutas. I don't think they're gonna be a huge dedication, but they'll be the force that drives behind this.
Was this an attempt to counter mutas because they knew what their opponents were gonna do? If so, it's a very I gotta say it's a poor attempt, but maybe it was.
I mean, Ling Hydra is not bad. It's not great though. It's the problem either.
I actually think it's really bad. I mean, sure, if your banelings get the connection on their lings, and I guess it isn't bad. But if they have roaches, I think those will win out. They're just too tanky, and they're less expensive than the Hydras. I mean, Ling and Hydras have both the same vulnerabilities, right? They easily go by mass things and banelings, and the Hydra is so expensive to get this early on. I really am questioning and scratching my head here if this will work. Yeah. Huh.
Maybe it was intended for lurkers, but they were just too paranoid about it getting scouted. I mean, I am also sitting here scratching my head, kind of with what's really going on here type thing.
Yeah, my fear right now is that they'll feel pretty good because they know they have the muta thing on lockdown. They've seen it's only like 10 mutas, like not a big deal. for as many Hydras that they managed to accrue here, as well as a couple of Sport Brawlers. But then what they're going to underestimate, as many people who go into Roach Hydra versus Mass Mutas underestimate, is the power of Lings on the ground. Lings and Banelings, potentially. Or maybe they'll misread this as Mass Muta, and it's actually going to be transferred to Roaches, which is actually the case. If it's transferred to Roaches, then the Roach Swell usually beats out someone who's only going pure Hydra. One's less expensive than the other.
I actually like this quite a bit. This was what we described earlier, kind of referencing Bly's tactics, where you go for a small amount of mutas, get some control, take out the overlords, harass a bit, but really transition into something else. And you said it, and I'll back this up. I do think most of the time we see Roaches, they win because of the numbers game, but this attack might just be perfect for tuning wild card. They're hitting just before that Roach count's really ready to go. It's only a couple on the way.
True. They are on the way, and another swell should be here soon as the larva pops. That supply should tell the tale, but they're already in the reinforcement line. The Hydras, I mean, they'll die fairly quickly, especially when the Lings can't cover them. There's not that many Lings, but the Roaches, the Banelings actually I didn't even notice they had Baneling speed. That was kind of odd to see, but yeah, even at that almost perfect timing, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, the sad thing was the Banelings from Team Red didn't really get utilized there. Speed kind of just rolled them to death a little bit quicker, I guess. But as you said, the Roaches are going to be enough to push this back. We got more Roaches and Lings coming up behind this. Team Teal still just going straight to Hydras, and I know we like Brood War, but that's not going to cut it here.
Yeah, I really like the lurker thing. Could have been cool. Would have been fun to see like quick lurkers, but
I think lurkers would have destroyed this too. I mean, the Roaches, for goodness sake. But Banelings walk right into the mineral line, or roll right into the mineral line. Good game's gonna get called, and looks like that's gonna be it. Tie it up 1-1. So that means Silky will take the game back. Nice. Very nice. Okay, well, we're gonna see what the final map is. I believe it's Loser's Pick. It's not really an ad break. We're just going to mute things while this gets set up, guys, and go to the break screen. So we'll see you once next game's ready to go. All right, guys. Hey, we're back. Thanks for watching. Nothing, actually. That was just a break screen with no ads. All right, we're actually going to be hopping into Orbital Shipyard momentarily for game number 3. It is tied up 1-1. Oh, I'm the host. Guess what? We're starting, bitches. But yeah, thank you for joining us on the cast tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed it so far. Zamrigan and I should be back for more CSL in the future. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I believe, is the plan. But let's hop into that in-game screen. Actually, could you start? I have something very important. I got a message about.
Yeah, all right. In the bottom left, as the teal Zerg, it's Suppy and Silky.
And their opponents in the top right, it's gonna be Yup Wildcard and Tuna. Of course, let's not forget Yup Wildcard and Tuna are representing the University of Washington, and UC Berkeley being represented by Suppy and Silky. Team Golden Bears versus Banana Crackers. There's too many team names involved with this.
See, Golden Bears are like Teddy Grahams, though. And Banana... What's her name?
Bananas in Pajamas?
Wait.
Are coming down the stairs.
What are their team names?
Bananas in Pajamas.
Stop. What are their team names?
Coming down in pairs.
Golden Bears and what?
Banana Cracker.
Yeah, okay, I was... Oh, my God, anyways.
Banana White People.
Banana crack... Anyways.
Is that okay to say? Is that racist? I don't actually know.
No, because you're white.
But I'm not really?
You're half white.
So... Where does this fall on the okay scale?
I don't know if we can get in this conversation.
Moving on.
I was gonna say that their team names combined to sound like a very delicious meal, but you went somewhere else.
Oh, I guess Teddy Grahams and Banana Crackers. That sounds like animal crackers to me. They have like a honey twist.
You ever had like vanilla wafers in like banana pudding or just regular vanilla pudding? Either one.
No, but that actually I can like that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's a
like
really
use it as a spoon
dessert.
basically. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a really good dessert. So that's what I imagine. Instead of vanilla wafers, it's Teddy Grahams.
Oh man, have you ever had pirouettes?
What?
They're like these cinnamon stick straw things, or not cinnamon sticks. They're more like cinnamon cookie sticks, but they're hollow like a straw. And you're supposed to put them on like your hot chocolate and sip them.
Yeah, yeah. Are they good?
They are delicious. I don't even eat them with the hot chocolate because I hate hot stuff. I just eat them. I'm just like, oh, it's a cigar. Crunch, 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 crunch.
We used to have those fake cigars. Well, we still do, I suppose, but they're like gum cigars. We got one from like a candy store, and we were like all eating one on the way to, I think, an arcade or something. And it was the worst thing we've ever tasted. We still refer back to that in like, you know, our inside jokes about how bad they were. I remember them being so good. They were just gum. But somewhere along the line, they just came really bad.
At BlizzCon, I know it's not the same area, but can we find another stupid candy store and get a lot of dumb stuff again and just eat it?
Sure. We did that in Korea. Me and my friends. Impure Dragon.
Was the Korean candies good?
There really wasn't that much different. Like, it was kind of funny. Like, I felt like, I don't know, like, really, I don't know, like, gluttonous or something, because, like, Fear Dragon and Kevin would be like, oh, these are hilarious and interesting, let's try these, and I'd be like, I was like, this is back at home. But...
I don't think that's gluttonous. Gluttonous would be like if you ate those and then like 5 more of those.
No, but apparently I go to the candy store way too often and know that they exist in the candy stores in America.
Oh, so okay, because they don't go enough. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say anything and just let them, like, you know, be amazed by this totally normal thing that I've had back at home.
Yeah, guys, sliced bread is crazy. I've never heard of that before.
I did get one thing.
What do you call this, rice?
I got one thing that was weird that I haven't seen before, and it was like, it was gummy turtles, but it was cream filled ? Question mark.
Like, I feel like this is like your sour ice cap. You shouldn't have eaten those if you didn't know.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. my bad.
I still think it's really gross that you like you took a sip and you weren't just like, I'm gonna throw this away. You're like, I'll just tough it out.
I tried very like.
I don't want to waste the $5.
I tried like stirring it. No, I didn't drink the whole thing. I only had like 5 sips, right? But like I tried like stirring it a little bit more. I tried like getting some from the very bottom and also from the very top, and then I gave up.
That's gross. That's really gross. I don't like it. I hate.
Don't trust Tim Hortons in a train station.
The smell of sour milk is so just.
It didn't smell that bad, and it just tasted tangy. Like they used like a different type of like sugar or something. I actually don't know what's in the ice cap. I just like sugar, coffee, and milk.
Did you get a shot of espresso?
No.
Then I have no idea.
I don't think that would have been it either.
Oh, if you put the straw directly into the espresso and you don't drink the ice cap around it, it's the worst. It is terrible.
Maybe they're Americans, right? Like they're ignorant. They actually thought that was what you put on ice caps. I don't know. The point is they threw it away, and it was a waste of $6, $5, whatever it was.
$6 American? Holy cow! How big was that ice cap?
I got a medium. It was $5.
What in the? You don't go to that place. They're ripping you off. They're like $2.
I know.
Canadian.
Next time I'll just take the train to Canada and it'll be cheaper.
Yeah. if you do it enough times, technically. All right. There's gonna be hydralisks and roaches versus mutalisks. Yeah, it's the same sort of situation as last time, but maybe this time Team Red's got more of a follow through to it. I mean,
I don't know.
Roachborn, please don't just go hydraslings.
The Roachborn of Suppy and Silky was like barely in time, but honestly, if they want to go Banelings to fight this, that's also going to work. And they're getting their centrifugal hooks right now. Also banking like a ton of minerals though. Want to use those?
Do they have
just,
larvae?
Invest in a 401k.
No, they do have a little. Well, I mean, if they can afford to go to Berkeley.
If the parents can afford to go to Berkeley, am I right?
They have no need for a 401k. Alright, so yeah, here comes that Roachborn. We're so snobby.
Like, we're making fun of rich people.
We're like two kids not in school right now. It's like making fun of the people in school.
But like, my parents also pay for my college, so I'm just being
you're
really
the worst. Like, I can't even latch on with you. Just like,
to be fair, Berkeley is still far more expensive than what my parents paid for, because they're also probably living on campus.
I went to an online course. Yeah, it was pretty good. The best campus.
MIT
it was my
courses
room.
you can now get a degree from. So
the Starcraft courses you can get points from.
2 credits.
2 credits.
Duo. Anyways, so Muta's doing their job just like a normal game. The only difference is that there's just mass hydras and lings for whatever reason instead of roach hydra. So let's see how this is gonna work. But the Mutas are doing their job. They're keeping them back for a long time. They're allowing the transition into roaches, which is apparently still gonna be what they choose to do, even though Banelings are also good.
I actually really like that they went roaches over Banelings this time, though. I mean, last time they dedicated in speed, they were relying on the Banelings, and it almost didn't work. Well, I mean, they still went for the speed, sure, but it's like a small clump of Banelings opposed to last time they were banking up like 20 lings and then had to use them in the defense. I think this time around, having more roaches is going to be more power, and if those Banelings can trade out even halfway decently with the amount they have, there's spines at the top of the ramp. I mean, there's just so many ways that this defense should go well for Suppy and Silky.
I think the mass Baneling thing would also work. They get 24 lings. If they're allowed to turn the Banelings, I mean, the roaches might not even be necessary. I mean, seriously, you have 2 units that are still susceptible to the same exact thing, and this thing does splash. Oh, what was that?
Well, there's a lot of Banelings trading out for very little Banelings. Unfortunately, the roach count not quite where it needs to be yet for this. Mutalisks are going to rush home, but this might just work.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Teaching Crank, that was a memory.
Definitely spoke too soon, and now the spread's here on the Hydras as well.
The Banelings are starting to flank and get into the heart of the Hydras. They got most of those lings really nicely done. The Mutas catch some separated in the back, and looks like they might just barely hold on to this.
Once again, that just barely is the key here, but just barely off the back of a nice worker count, but more importantly, those upgrades. I think what is eventually still going to be a superior army with Roach Baneling, as opposed to just those Hydras that are being remade right now. Suppy and Silky are still looking pretty good.
Yeah. You know, let's not forget they've got this hatchery that came up as well behind this. I don't think the Reds scouted it in level 2 tunnel vision, as they did miss it. Now they go for the infestation pit, and we saw how cool parasitic bomb, how good infestors with fungal growths can be, but I don't know if that's going to be that big of a deal, because it's not Mutalisks that are the focus here. It is, again, that ground army. You have a lot of roaches and quite a few lings to back these guys up.
Yeah. I mean, usually if you see this in like Heart of the Swarm, you're calling it a mistake. You know, you're saying, oh, it looks like Red thought that Teal was gonna go for nothing but mutas, so they made a big mistake only going for Ling, Hydras, and Infestors.
Oh,
but
that move command though.
No, they definitely know that it's, you know, versus roaches, not mass muta, and this is still their choice to do this, and I just don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to defend this. We'll see what the splits look like, and if their own defensive Banelings can take care of these Banelings.
Yeah, and apologies for the score, guys. I totally forgot that it was 1-1. Well, I knew it was 1-1. I just forgot to put on the overlay, so fixed up now. But big Baneling attacks here at the top. Going to take out most of those Banelings. Now we got the Roaches coming in. Banelings do go up for Banelings. They don't get credit for the Lings. Now the Roaches don't have any buffer, but at the same time, there's just so many of them.
Yeah, well, then also no buffer for the Hydras.
Yeah,
a few Lings, that's about it. And the Roach numbers are still coming across the map. The Mutas have been getting in to help once more. And, well, yeah, Roaches still beat out the Hydras.
Yeah, tankiness of the Roaches really sustains them through this. Drone's going to go down here, and good game's going to get called. Looks like UC Berkeley, Suppy and Silky will take this series 2-1. Awesome, good stuff. So, thanks for watching the cast tonight, guys. If you're unfamiliar with myself and my partner here, it's Rifkin and Zombie. I'm coming at you from Base Trade TV. Our Twitters are below our names if you want to follow us. That'd be awesome. We'll be covering CSL every Tuesday and Thursday. And some more Archon stuff to come in the future. But we are done for the night, so I'm going to play the exit video and head off. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in a bit.